And now we're on Daf Beis Amud Beis, and Beit Shammai say tikantem es rabo, but ve'es atzmo lo tikantem. So you've divided up the days very nicely, very equally between the Adon and the Eved. Each gets 1 day, Zachatzi Eved, Chatzi Ben Chorin. But the Eved himself is not in a great place. Why is that? Lisa Shivcha in Yochel, he can't marry Shivcha because he has a tzad of a Ben Chorin. A Ben Chorin relationship with a Shivcha is a violation of a Lav Doraisa. Lisa Bas Chorin in Yochel, he can't marry a Bas Chorin because half of him is an Eved, and that's the Yisur of Kadesh, of Lotia, Kadesh of Bnos Yisrael. That would be a law. Is therefore Libatel. Are you telling me that he cannot procreate? That's too harsh of a law with regard to the Chatzi Eved Chatzi Ben Chorin. After all, God created the world for what purpose? L'piri v'rivya shenemar pasuk Yeshaya lo so bra l'sheves yitzor. So it means that God wants this world, this globe, to be populated. And now you're telling me here's a man who, because one of his two masters freed his half, therefore he can't marry anyone. There's no category of a woman that he could marry. Ella, mipnei tikkun olam kofin tzrava v'yoso ben chorin kosiv lo shtar al chetzi domav v'chazru beisil lahoros kedivrei Beit Shammai. The answer is that we have to compel the Adon, who's only half of this Eved, to free the Eved, to free that half of the Eved. So now the Eved is no longer an Eved, he's a complete Ben Chorin. And that's called Kofin also. And Beisil accepted. So now we can interpret the contradiction in that Mishnah based on Beisil. So originally Beisil's position was Oved es Rabba Yom Echad via Oved es Atzmo Yom Echad. So he's a Chatzi Eved and a Chatzi Ben Chorin. And that's why he's potter from Re'iyah. And that's what it means here when it says, in the Mishnah it says, Avodim She'enim Mishuchrarim, that even a Chetzio Eved is potter. And all this reflects Beis Hillel's original position. And now we go on to, that's the Mishnah Rishona. And now we get to the Mishnah Achrona. They established a ruling that Kofinis Rabo, we force the Rav to be Meshacher him. And therefore he has the din of a Ben Chorin, he's Chayiv and Re'iyah, and that's Hakol Asuyei Man. Now, L'chora, this doesn't make any sense. How can you tell me that, right, that after the Horos Chacham of Kofinis Rabo, he's considered like an Eved Meshuchar. He's not an Eved Meshuchar yet. He hasn't received his get Shechur. But he says, Kevan to be Adenu L'chacharo, Ein Reshus Rabo Olam. Since we don't have the ability to be Meshacher, therefore, the Reshus of the Rav is completely gone. Right? Because we're going to force the owner, the master, to be Meshacher his half. Now we go on to the Mishnah. Chutz mi cheresh shota v'katan. Katani cheresh dumya de shota v'katan. Ma shota v'katan to lav b'nei deya. Af cheresh to lav b'nei deyahu. And we're going to see now that the word cheresh refers to a deaf mute. And he's lav b'nei deya. But if he has the ability to hear or to speak, he's not a lav bardas, he's a bardas. The kamash malon, it is not. And our Tana, our Mishnah wants to teach us like the following Mishnah. And this is a Mishnah in Masechet Trumos. Cheresh shedibru chachamim b'chol makom she'eno shomea v'eno medab. Now, b'chol makom means, as far as mitzvos in general are concerned, the Rabbanan have established that he's potem in a mitzvahs because eno shomea v'eno medab. So this means that if he's both deaf and mute, the Chachamim established that he's not a bar das. But that's only because he's a cheresh, v'eno shomea v'eno medaber. Ha medaber v'eno shomea, shomea v'eno medaber. He's considered that he has das, and he's chayiv in all mitzvahs, including re'iyah. So the Gemara says, Tanina laha de ton rabbana. That which we learned in our Mishnah, we learned in a Brisa. The Brisa says, Hamidaber ve'eno shomea zeu cheresh, shomea ve'eno medaber zeu ilim. Zevazeh hareim kepikchim l'chol divrei. So if he can speak, even though he can't hear, he can hear even though he can't speak, he's considered like a pikeach l'chol davar, and he can apply. He's considered pikeach l'chol davar, and he's chayiv in mitzvahs, and he's chayiv in re'iyah. Why? Because he's a bar das. That's cheresh hamidaber or eno medaber v'shomeh. So the Gemara asks, Umimai, how do you know, or how does the Bryce itself know? The medaber v'eno shomeh zeu cheresh, v'shoteh she'eno medaber zeu ilem. So again, let's get this straight. Mimai, how do we know that? How does the Bryce know? Again, the medaber v'eno shomeh zeu cheresh, shomeh v'eno medaber zeu ilem, and both of them are considered bardas and the chayiv and mitzvahs. Tichsiv poskin tilim ani ki cheresh lo eshma uki ilem lo yiftach piv. You see that a cheresh doesn't hear and ilem doesn't speak. Another way in which I can derive that Elam means he doesn't speak, it amri inchi ishtikil milule. Nitol koach hadibur. The koach hadibur was taken away. In other words, when we talk about someone who is a shomea v'eno medaber zeu ilem, that's what people call an ilem, that the power of speech was taken away. Okay, then so we're up to medaber v'eno shomea.